What's up, guys? Ryan Knows Tech here from e39source.com. It's a complete throwback video, and apparently my voice changes when I do a video like this. So here we are. It is the 5th day of April 2019, and I woke up to a Mac that worked beautifully and then did not work beautifully. And we're going to cut back into the vlog now. Sorry about that, but Jesus, what is this? Take 48 of this computer. It's only this computer that doesn't work. This thing has been a lemon really ever since I got it, and it's unfortunate. I didn't even buy this computer. Let's go through it. We're going to take time today. I bought a 2014 MacBook Pro. That is the Retina 15-inch non-touch bar, non-touch, Force Touch. Force Touch? The one where the trackpad has like two Force Touch. We're going to call it Force Touch. 3D Touch, whatever the hell they call it. That's what I bought back in 2014, so it's 5 years ago. And that computer had cracked display after broken inverter, after dicked display, and eventually they said, we don't know what's wrong with your computer, but the engineers in Cupertino want to see what's going on with it. So we want to send your computer to Cupertino. We're going to replace it with the latest model. It's the same thing, except it has the touch whatever trackpad. And I said, fine, that's great, give me a new one. So they gave me this one. And this one's been by far worse. It's logic board, I think number 3, keyboard and uppercase number 3, display, I want to say 10 or 11 now on this computer. And I used it all morning. It worked really well. I got a ton of work done today. Thankfully all online, so I'm not going to lose much if any of it. And I closed the lid. I very gingerly put it in my protected, soft, little fuzzy laptop bag. Put the bag safely in the back seat of the M5 and headed to the shop. I got there, I took it out, I opened the lid, and I thought, that's weird. I thought I put it to sleep. Well, it shut off. Tried to boot it, nothing. It doesn't boot. Of course, I've tried to plug it in. It's not a dead battery. It was about 85% when I left the house. So it doesn't boot. I plugged it in, still didn't boot. Tried an SMC reset, tried a PRAM reset, nothing. You don't hear the fans come on. The speakers don't click like it would be a dead display, but speakers don't click. I tried an HDMI. No noises whatsoever. The only thing I was able to get this to respond to was the little green charger indicator light turned orange and then green when I reset the SMC. I was able to get it to do that, but nothing else changed. So I make a Genius Bar appointment, head over there, and talk to a guy. Thank God I got a good Genius over there. That was extremely helpful. And I was ready to just, get the quote of logic board number 4, which was going to be, what, $2,000 to replace it again. And then I still have a computer and this display is only a few months old. And I notice up in this corner, it's starting to delaminate like all other 11, 10 displays have done. So I know this one's on its way out too. I'm going to need another screen in the next 6 months. I was going to get that quote and then just say, you know what, I'm going to sell this thing to Gazelle for like, a broken Mac on Gazelle is worth like, what, $90, $75? They're worth nothing. I would probably go to eBay, ask $300 for it, and let somebody figure out, what, did the SSD just burn up on the drive up there for some reason? Or maybe it's as simple as this power button is no longer completing a circuit that turns the computer on. I don't know. So, thankfully though, this guy looked into my case. I explained my whole case. Took like 10 minutes like it is right now. He looked into it and he said, let me talk to a manager. This is not how our products are supposed to interact with our customers. So he talked to a manager, they came back out and they said, here's what we're willing to do if you want to do it. We will replace this computer with a current generation Touch Bar mid-2018 MacBook Pro, Retina 15, all that, of equal, or if equal isn't available, one bump up specs. And they said, okay, great. However, my concern, as it's always been with the touch bars, and I've had several of them, because when this computer goes in for display number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, I bought touch bar Macs, and I used them for a while. And I love them for the most part. The display is better, the speakers are way better, the battery life's better, it's thinner, it's lighter. I love the butterfly keyboard that people complain about. The big trackpad's awesome. We've talked about it You've heard me bitch about it for years. Those things, nobody uses these. These are not an industry standard. I don't see it going that way. I think it's kind of a flawed design, and I think they'll do away with it. I think they'll bring connectivity back in the future because those are worthless. The only thing those are good for are these. And you need 4 of them to even get half the connectivity that this thing has out of the box. Look at this. USB 3, HDMI, SD, over here. So far, none of these things are present on the touch bar. You come over here, the power, you don't even have MagSafe anymore, so goodbye MagSafe adapters. Thunderbolt 2, we still don't have any of these things. USB 3, we don't have that. Headphones, that's the only thing that this computer retains, which is just ridiculous. But before I go down that rabbit hole too much further, I expressed my concerns there. He said, unfortunately, we cannot throw in the adapters. That's the way it is. You'd have to buy the adapters. But we'll issue you a credit good for the value of this computer. Then I had the option of upgrading. And I said, hey, is it a possibility if I want to upgrade and get a bigger drive or a better graphics card or more RAM or whatever? And he said, not usually. Let me check with the manager, see what she says. So I expected him to come back and say no. Well, he said yes. So I was able to upgrade. The one that they had to order that's now going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get here is freaking loaded, and it's awesome. And it's a fraction of the cost of what I was worrying that I was going to have to spend on this. So we're going to get a built touch bar. Unfortunately, that means we move into adapter land now. The good news is the Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2 will only be used for my backup drive, which only stays on my desk upstairs. So I'll just plug it in to that cable and leave it there. That's fine. I need a longer cable anyways. This affords me 4 inches. USB-C to SD. This one's going to be a real pain in the ass. It has to go absolutely everywhere. I need this at work. I need it at home. I need it when I travel. This will become attached to me. USB-C to digital AV. So this guy, $69 they get for this thing. This guy has a USB-C, an HDMI, and a USB. So I'll use this at the shop to plug into the HDMI monitor that I have and use on a weekly basis. And then USB-C to USB I will need all over the place for, actually I should have bought 2 of these. I'm going to have to get another one. I need one at the shop so I can run diag stuff on cars, and I need one here so I can sync and charge my phone, which yes, I still do. I know it's 2019, nobody else does it. How else do you get music on your phone? Or you pay Apple Music and then you don't own anything, and in 3 years when that disappears, you're shit out of luck and have no library? No thanks. And then I needed one of these, a USB-C 87 watt power adapter, which no longer comes with the extension cord, which I'm hoping I can rob the extension cord from my existing 2 MagSafe adapters and just plug it in here. And then I'll have 2 USB-C chargers. Reason for 2. I need one at the shop, I need one here. Or I need one in a bedroom and I need one in an office and down here. I'd love to have 6 of them, but what is this? This is 80 bucks and it doesn't even come with the extension cable. So that's where we are. The one that I bought today is going to be a return unit. This is going to go back to Apple in 2 weeks, and I really hope the one I ordered shows up within 2 weeks. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do it all again and buy another temporary computer to use for 2 weeks until I get the one that they're sending me. So this one is the best one they had. I didn't care what it cost since I'm going to return it. This is a 15-inch Space Gray Retina MacBook Pro, 2.9 gigahertz i9. It's a 6-core i9 processor with 12 megs of level 3 cache. 32 gigs of DDR4 memory. I believe it's 2400 megahertz, yeah, 2.4 gigahertz RAM. And then the AMD Radeon Pro 560X, which is a dedicated, is it 2 gig graphics card? It's the base graphics though. And then terabyte SSD. So this is just an i7 quad at 2.8 with 16 gigs of DDR3 at 1666 megahertz and a 512 gig, I think it's a PCIe SSD. If I'm not speaking English to you, that's okay. And then this one, so I'm going from 512 to terabyte, doubling the RAM, and adding 4 processor cores. And then the one I'm getting is going to add the AMD Vega 20 dedicated 4 gigs of HDM graphics memory. So the thing's going to be a total boss. Right now, I've got to get this set up, restore my latest Time Machine backup, which is kind of old. It's going to be a 10-day to 2-week-old backup, but that's the only option I have. Which will require this cable, and within a couple hours we'll be back online. Thanks for listening. I forgot that on the touch bars you don't have to use a power button anymore. You just open the lid and it knows that you've opened the lid and it starts. Boots. It's not a car. It boots, not starts. I did also forget that these have Touch ID, which is cool, so I can use a password and do it that way. I went with the space gray, and the one I'm going to be getting full time is also space gray. I've never had a space gray Mac, and I think they look pretty sleek. I like that they brought back the MacBook Pro text on the display bezel. That's a nice touch. I'm going to set the touch bar to be static and always show these controls. I don't care about scrolling through preview in there. That's dumb. I've never had it, so I'm not used to that, and I don't really want to. So I suppose I have to authenticate Wi-Fi, then we will have to connect to this. And for you nerds out there that are still here for some reason at over 10 minutes into this video. So this is the drive I use. It's a Lacy D2 Quadra, I think, or was that my old one? Anyways, it is USB 3.0 and it's got Thunderbolt 2. So which would you use to connect to a Touch Bar Mac? Would you go and try to find whatever that is that USB-B or USB-D? I don't know. Find that to USB-C, or just continue using this cable, which is a Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 2, and then adapt it to Thunderbolt 3. And before you ask, Apple doesn't make a Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 cable, because that would make too much sense.